I like to begin each episode with a little gag, a jape. Um, and I had one planned for this episode where I was going to announce that Ghoul and I were going to begin selling our bread and butters in various fighting games as NFTs. And I had this whole shtick planned. It was going to be long, very facetious, loaded with sarcasm about how you could buy our bread and butters, and that wouldn't actually mean anything. But then I realized that's just the world we live in.
And it's impossible to differentiate satire from truth.
So no, we will not be selling our bread and butters as NFTs, but if you want to give us money, I will write down bread and butter in a fighting game I play on like a sticky note or a postcard, and I will mail it to you. You can have it. It will be yours.
You know what? If you want to sell bread and butters that way, we can. I guess we can do that. We can figure something out.
No one's going to be able to... You won't be able to stop other people from using the combo, let alone using it on you. But you'll own it.
You'll own it.
All right, but you're not here to hear us complain about crypto stuff. You're here to talk about fighting games. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Ghoul, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing a lot of Guilty Gear. Happy Chaos is super cool. I recently started playing Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
I ended up picking up Cross Tag, and I got Central Fiction because Valcion gifted it to me. So, cheers to the homie Valcion.
Also because they're both on sale right now.
Yeah, they are.
Because as was announced at CEO this past weekend, they got rollback.
They did.
Both Central Fiction and Blaze Blue Cross Tag have rollback. That's
and
insane.
Cross Tag. So one caveat I want to mention.
Okay.
Blaze Blue Central Fiction on PS4 will not be receiving rollback.
Right. And I think that's because it's supposed to be cross-compatible with the PS3 version?
Yes.
Okay.
So because that game has full crossplay with the PS3 version, it was impossible to give it a rollback patch.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't want to sacrifice the PS3 crossplay in exchange for rollback. I don't know. Yeah. But either way, if you're going to pick up Blaze Blue Central Fiction, make sure you get it on Steam, because that's the version that's going to have that's the version that's going to have rollback, excuse me. But both versions, both PS4 and PC of Blaze Blue Cross Tag, will be getting rollback.
Nice. This is so great. I can never really get into the Blaze Blue series. I have the first one, Calamity Trigger, and I haven't played it since like 2014.
Yeah.
2015. And it's fun. I really like watching Blaze Blue, but I just could never get into it. And one of the reasons that up until now the gameplay was really the netcode was just not good.
It wasn't, but it's good now. Currently on Steam, the rollback beta version for both games is active. So you can buy either Central Fiction or Cross Tag right now on Steam and play it with rollback netcode, which I have done, and it is excellent.
I'm so happy that they're doing this, and I was going to try to look at the Steam charts for Central Fiction, because I saw someone posted on Twitter, like after the rollback patch went live, like the player count of Central Fiction, like I have it on my screen right now. Like,
yeah,
it was like in like maybe 100 players, all the way up to over 4,000.
Wow.
Literally over the span of 24 hours. That's how important, that's how good rollback netcode is.
That's what it can do to games. I mean, the same thing happened to Plus R.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear Accent Core, when it got the rollback patch. And the same thing happened to KOF 2002 UM.
And
Garou, yeah. So, like, giving games rollback is good.
Yeah.
It's scientifically observable that giving games rollback is good.
And also, from an economic standpoint and a development standpoint, I'm willing to bet it's a lot easier to retrofit older games to work with rollback netcode than it is to create entirely new games from scratch. Capcom. There's a version of Third Strike with rollback netcode. Put it on Steam.
Yeah, there is.
It's a money printing machine, and you're not turning it on.
Yeah.
But I guess you're just focused on selling crypto. Oh yeah, by the way, Capcom's selling Street Fighter NFTs.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know a lot about the situation, but you'll be able to buy NFTs of the Street Fighter characters.
You can own Vega, whatever that gets you.
I guess.
Whatever.
In case we haven't made it clear enough, Charge Motion does not condone NFTs, and you will never see either of us interacting with them in a positive manner.
Personally, I'm waiting for NFDs to catch on.
You can't see the comment section.
No, but I will read the comment section later. Anyway, they're both on sale right now. Central Fiction is, I think, $20, and Cross Tag is $5 on Steam.
Yes.
Those are both really good deals for two really good fighting games.
Yes, they are. They're both a lot of fun. I haven't played Cross Tag online yet, but I did go in the lab and try to find my characters. I haven't found my characters in Cross Tag yet. That's why I haven't played it online yet.
Yeah.
But Central Fiction, I did. It took me an entire night to find a character that I vibed with, but I settled on Bullet. Because she's a hybrid rushdown grappler with fireballs. And if that doesn't sound familiar to you, I am also a Laura player in Street Fighter V, who is, in fact, a hybrid rushdown grappler with fireballs.
I'm trying to think of who I played back when I played Calamity Trigger back before my playstyle really solidified. I think I played Tao Kaka. I don't know. And I have no idea who I would play in Cross Tag, because the only character that I know and like is Carmine. And the only other characters that I really know and recognize are the Ruby characters, and I don't even like Ruby.
But I mean, you could play Carmine Aurier.
That's true.
Under Night has so many cool characters, and a lot of them are in that game.
Yeah. But yeah, they're on sale right now. Apparently the rollback is really good. It's Arxis.
Yeah.
And hopefully other developers and publishers will get the message. I highly doubt that I don't know. I don't want to say highly doubt, because we didn't think this was going to happen. I hope that someday both Dragon Ball FighterZ and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus get better netcode. We can hope.
Honestly, I think that's a publisher thing for those games. Because I feel like if you're gonna add rollback to your fighting games, right? If your Arc system works and you're like, I'm gonna add rollback to my fighting games, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a slam dunk layup. Those are two different basketball terms put together. That's how easy it would be, at least in my brain, to apply rollback, to make the decision to apply rollback to Dragon Ball FighterZ.
But didn't Bandai Namco publish Dragon Ball FighterZ?
Yes. Huh. So that's maybe where the snags got put up. I don't know. I don't actually have that insider knowledge. That's just my speculation.
We're not game devs.
Yeah.
This is all these are all shots in the dark.
Do with it what you will.
Yeah.
I know that the Grand Blue IP is monitored very closely by, whoever owns it. I think Cygames owns it or something.
I'm pretty sure it's Cygames, yeah.
But the Grand Blue IP is monitored very, very closely.
That's a shame.
So we don't know what'll happen with that. We don't know what'll happen with anything. Who are we, right?
Yeah. But thank you so much, Arxis, for the BlazBlue community needed this. It really
seriously.
did. Yeah.
And the game is really fun. Once I finally found my character and I got in and played some games, the game feels really good.
So yeah, they're on sale on Steam right now. I think for the next few days. We are recording this on December 9th, so I think for at least a few more days.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to more CEO news. CEO was a very busy tournament.
Yeah,
in a lot of different ways.
There was a lot of stuff.
Aside from people pulling fire alarms and being on the couch, and
I want to say two things about the things you just said.
Okay.
First of all, if you haven't heard, Alex Jabali tweeted and made a statement that a couch was peed on at CEO.
Couch was peed on.
It was not done by an attendant of CEO.
Okay. That's good.
Jabali confirmed through Twitter that the perpetrator of said couch peeing was an international guest who happened to be staying at the hotel, who was heavily intoxicated.
Okay, all right. Because my guess was maybe a really old person, because that could happen sometimes.
Maybe.
Okay.
So it was a drunk person who happened to be staying at the hotel that was not involved with the event in any way.
All right.
Just happened to find themselves in that situation. And they were taken care of by hotel staff and, I assume, medical staff.
I hope for many reasons that does not become a CEO tradition.
Yes.
Same thing with pulling the fire alarm.
That's the other thing I want to talk about. So I don't know all of the details of the situation. of why the fire alarm was pulled. But there's only one thing that makes sense in my brain. And that's someone got really salty.
Yeah.
And if you are the type of person that's going to get so mad at a video game that you pull a fire alarm in a public venue, maybe don't enter tournaments.
Take a break.
Take a break. Like,
the game will still be there. The community will still be there. Take a break, please.
Seriously. You could have, and I'm speaking directly to the person who did it. I don't know who it was, and they're probably never going to see this.
Yeah, I was going to say, assuming they're watching this.
Yeah.
If so, hi.
You could have ruined that entire weekend for everyone.
Imagine if the sprinklers went off.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, every single setup would have gotten fried.
Would have gotten destroyed. And that's people's personal setups. All of the money and time that they spent traveling, time taken off of work, what have you. And everyone there just wanted to compete in fighting games and hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
And you, because you got upset, decided that you were going to ruin it for everyone else. And that's not okay.
Everyone gets salty, but that's your problem to deal with. Not
yes.
I know Jabeli said that there was a security camera pointed at the fire alarm that was pulled.
Yes.
They know who it is. They're going to prosecute
and
make sure that the person does not enter any other events.
Yes. Jabeli did not release the name of said person, which assumedly for their safety.
Yeah, that's... yeah, I think whatever Jabeli does is punishment enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that. Moving on. So other... like I said, it was a very busy tournament. 2 character announcements in 2 different games. First of all, we're finally getting Biken and Strive.
Yes, Biken and Strive.
We only saw a teaser, but she looks really good. I mean, it's the same design as XR, which, let's be honest, is peak character design.
Correct.
But I think early 2022 they said for the Biken was going to come out.
Yes, I think they said January 2022.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, like season 1 of Guilty Gear Strive, and I know I've said it before, is Gold Lewis, Jacko, Happy Chaos, who we're going to talk about later, and now Biken. That's a really good season pass.
Yeah, it is. And I knew Biken was going to get in Season 1 DLC. They were not going to let her hang out in Sam Show by herself for too long.
I saw someone joke on Twitter that she got fed up with Sam Show's netcode and came back home.
I'm excited about Biken. Mm-hmm. She's not usually the type of character that I tend to play. Mm-hmm. Because she's usually a very defensive sort of trap-based character.
She's very difficult in my experience.
But a lot of characters had their difficulty toned down between XR and Strive. So I would be surprised if she didn't get a similar treatment. So I'm excited to try and play her.
Yeah. And we got Skullgirls news. We got a full release trailer and whatnot for Umbrella, with a lot of her updated animations, some voice clips. Looks really good. I think she's going to hit the main branch of the game. I think they said early 2022. And then we got a teaser. We're finally getting Black Dahlia, guys. Black Dahlia, yes!
She looks so cool.
She looks so cool. And I think years ago, I think some of the devs have said that in order for the full story of Skullgirls be in the game, they would need Umbrella, Black Dahlia, and Marie. So that's already 2 out of 3. But also, I think most, if not all, the people who said that are no longer working on the game anymore for various reasons.
Right.
So maybe the plan has changed. But I'm really excited for Black Dahlia for a number of reasons. I know that in the extended lore of the mobile game, which I somehow still have not played, she's either responsible for or involved in half of the tragic backstories of the main cast. Because even in the base game, she is the one who killed both Misfortune and Squiggly, and she's a former anti-Skullgirl unit, so she has connections to both Peacock and Big Band, and she's part of the Medici Mafia, so she has connections to Philia and Cerebella.
So she's connected to
everybody, pretty much everybody. Yeah. And so I'm very excited for her to come out. And back during the crowdfunding campaign to add the DLC characters, the devs put out a quick summary of her backstory and potential playstyle. It says Lorenzo Medici's right-hand hitwoman who takes thorough enjoyment in her work. Little is known about her outside the carnage left in her wake. To span decades without slowing down. Only 2 of her targets have walked away so far. oversight she plans to rectify. And playstyle, Black Dahlia keeps her arsenal well hidden, grenade launchers, tear gas, and hidden knives. She isn't above dirty tactics, cloaking her movement using her doilies. One attack may look like it will go one way when she shifts into another. Don't let the giant gun distract you. With a blade hidden in her kneecap is tearing at your liver. And another zoner. We could finally have a full team, a full 3-person team of annoying zoners. Although, let's be honest, it's going to be 2 zoners and then Brass Big Band on Anchor. But still. And again, this was probably nearly a decade ago, so I would not be surprised if the plan has changed since then. The gameplay inspiration, they have Cable from MVC2, Chris from MVC3, and Whole Horse from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Heritage for the Future. So, and also BB Hood. So she's gonna. So I see that and think, oh, actually, going to be a really like technical zoning character with a lot of different tools.
The gameplay inspiration also includes Justice from Guilty Gear,
XX Asking Core, yeah. And Genjiro from Sam Show, Darkwing Duck, probably just from more of an aesthetic standpoint, came from the Versus series, and then one that concerns me and excites me, Meta Knight from Brawl.
Is she getting a cape teleport?
She might get a cape teleport.
That's what I'm thinking when they're talking about Meta Knight.
Well, I mean, also when the time this was this summary was created, this was before Smash 4, so Brawl was the only fighting game Meta Knight had been in.
Yeah.
So I don't think she'll be as busted as Meta Knight, but I think like Dimensional Cape and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't think we got a release window, but she's the 3rd character. I'm really excited.
She looks really cool. I mean, I have a thing for gunslingers and fighting games. Which was why it was really hard for me to let go of Noelle in BlazBlue, but I heard that Noelle is like borderline unplayable in that game, so I'm like not even. But anyway, I have a thing for gunslingers, so I'm really definitely gonna try Black Dahlia when she comes out, and I'm probably gonna try to play Parasol again.
Yeah. I can never wrap my head around Parasol. Also because she's a charge character.
She's weird. Like, charge characters don't bother me anymore. They used to. But even being able to play charge characters, she's still a weird character.
She's very weird, but when she's optimized, she's just extremely annoying. She just locks you down with napalm traps, and it's just extremely annoying. Play Skullgirls.
Play Skullgirls.
Yeah. Also, with CEO, I forgot to put it on the itinerary. Do you want to talk about the old couple that entered?
Oh yeah,
the
Marvel 3.
Yeah, so I pulled up my phone because I forgot to do it here. There was this senior couple who showed up at CEO and entered Marvel 3, and they both played on stream.
Yeah,
and like it was great. So their tags are Tinker and Arakius, and they CEO was their first page, and they went because they're running an event in Georgia called Southeast Mayhem in February, and they wanted to, see the community, learn some stuff. They got pictures with Jabali and a lot of the top players.
That is awesome.
They both played on stream, and apparently Tinker, the woman, she was so nervous that she actually input the wrong team.
Oh no!
And then she got lightning looped.
Then she did get lightning looped.
That was big 0.
That was the clip that I saw. I forgot the player who was playing against her. But he was getting booed.
Yeah, the crowd was booing him, and then Arakius went up and actually took a game off his opponent.
Oh, nice.
So here's the thing: like, I don't know how old they are, but like they got white hair and all that stuff. Yeah. They're probably grandparents.
Yep.
If a literal grandmother can show up to a major, play on stream, get lightning looped, and walk away with a smile on her face, so can you.
So can you.
You are not too old for fighting games. You are not too old to have fun. It is not too late to start playing, to go to majors, to have fun.
I've said it before. I've said it in many ways, and I will say it again right now. The fighting game community is for everyone.
It's for everyone.
Everyone. Doesn't matter how old you are, who you are, where you're from. As long as you exist, you can have fun inside the fighting game community. And anyone who makes you feel otherwise is wrong and dumb.
Yes. But yeah, they're running their own esports event called Southeast Mayhem 2022.
I kind of wish I could go.
Yeah, me too, honestly. It's in Tifton, Georgia on February 4th to 6th. It said the games that are running there: Smash Ultimate, Strive, Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, Dragon Ball FighterZ, MK11, Soul Calibur 6, Granblue Fantasy Versus, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and MVC 3.
What an awesome lineup.
That's a really good lineup.
That's an awesome set of games.
And I think I saw the flyer. They were running a few non-fighting game events too. I forgot exactly what they were. But February 4th to 6th, if you're in the Georgia area, if you're in the Southeast, check it out.
Definitely check it out.
So that was CEO. We got new character announcements, and outside CEO, we got new characters released. Tell us about Happy Chaos.
Happy Chaos is one of the coolest fighting game characters I've ever seen. I've ever played, ever. So he's really unique. He's got a bunch of unique mechanics attached to him. Most to all of them revolve around his gun. So his heavy slash button pulls out his gun, and then pressing it again fires the gun. And he can fire the gun during any animation. Oh. As long as he's not in hit stun or block stun.
Yeah, I remember seeing in the trailer, he was walking forward and firing the gun.
Actually, he wouldn't be able to be in block stun anyway, because while he has the gun out, he can't block.
Oh.
But yeah, so he can't fire during hit stun, but he can fire during any other animation. So you can be block stringing people, do an unsafe move, and then at the end of said unsafe move, fire a shot to make the move safe.
Oh, that's really cool.
So you can be comboing, and while your combo is happening, you can be pressing heavy slash to fire shots at them.
So it's kind of like a unique Roman cancel, but just for him.
Sort of.
Because I'm almost reminded of the time cancels or whatever they're called in Punch Planet, where if you have the meter, you can press.
It's kind of like that, but the gun doesn't interrupt the animation that he's doing.
Okay.
So if I press just standing slash, right? During the standing slash animation, I press heavy slash and the gun fires, but the move still executes through completion.
Okay.
And this gun is managed by 2 resources. So he has ammo, just like other gunslinger characters in other games. He has 6 bullets that he can fire, and he has a special move that allows him to reload.
Right.
And it's determined by his focus meter. So when you draw the gun, your focus meter starts depleting. And firing the gun takes out more focus.
Okay.
And when you run out of focus, you do like a stumble animation where he like almost drops his gun or whatever, and you're vulnerable during said animation. And then he has a move that he like is vulnerable during it, but it allows him to regenerate his focus meter more quickly.
Okay.
And there's actually another mechanic attached to his gun, where when he has the gun drawn, you'll see the reticle that points at the opponent at all times. The faster you fire, the larger the reticle gets, and the larger the reticle is, there's a chance your bullets might miss. In which case, they'll just do nothing, and you'll have wasted the shot and the focus meter.
So it's an RNG mechanic.
More or less, yeah. But it's not completely random, because it's based on your actions.
Right.
So, like, if you delay your shots and fire slowly, and wait for the reticle to reset between your shots, then you're probably going to hit them. But if you just mash the heavy slash button and dump your whole 6 shots into them, a lot of them are probably going to miss.
Okay.
He also has a move where he like throws a little curse orb, and if the curse orb hits you, it doesn't do any damage and it doesn't do any hit stun, but it applies a debuff to you that makes his shots lock onto you faster. So he can fire the gun faster and miss less.
Dang.
So like his whole playstyle revolves around this gun and like keeping it loaded and all sorts of that stuff. But it's also kind of weird because he doesn't like. He has zoning tools, but they're not like traditional zoner stuff. Like he doesn't cover the screen the way like Axel does,
right?
Or like Kai's fireballs, because the gunshots are hit scan. They're instant. There's no travel time.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, so he's shooting you from across the screen, but there's no fireball for you to dodge. You just have to respect it, or hope he misses.
I'm trying to think of other comparisons in other games. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is in Skullgirls, Parasol's Super with the sniper.
Kind of like that, yeah. Except don't you have to aim the reticle with hers?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know of, anyway.
Yeah. And then he has like a like sort of a focused aimed mode where it's a special move that puts him in a stance where he aims the gun and he does like powered up shots that are stronger than his normal ones. But he can't move during that stance. And then he has like special things where you can like cancel into reload, and then the reload is interruptible after you load at least one bullet.
Dang.
So you can fire a shot, cancel into reload, and then cancel the first bullet animation, sort of, and cancel the reload, and then do other stuff or shoot again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a crazy character. There's a lot to keep track of, but he's also super fun and really good. His supers are interesting, too. He has one super that doesn't do any damage. All it does is fills his focus meter instantly.
Okay.
And gives him a buff that makes the meter refill faster for a set period of time.
Oh, so it's an install.
Basically, yeah.
That's really interesting. I like that.
And his other super is ridiculous. It's a tracking projectile super that wherever you are on the screen, when he activates it, it finds you and locks onto you. He fires a bunch of shots like through portals, like Gilgamesh style from Fate, where he's like shooting through portals and barraging you with bullets, and it breaks the wall.
Wow.
That's like his combo ender super.
That's crazy.
But he can also use it to like whiff punish stuff, because wherever you are on the screen, if you whiff anything, the super locks onto you and catches you.
That sounds problematic.
A little bit, yeah. But he has to have focus available to do it. So if his focus meter is empty, then he can't do that super.
Right. That's no. And also I like how in the intro animation for a mirror match he high-fives himself.
He does.
Yeah.
He high-fives himself, he compliments his own jacket, and then he questions which one of the two of them is real, and neither of them know.
My own clone. Now neither of us will be virgins.
Basically.
That's a vintage meme. All right. Yeah, Happy Chaos is really cool. Like I said, I think the first season of Guilty Gear Strive is really good.
They managed to take a first-person shooter and stick it into a fighting game. I mean, I know that they kind of did that with Elfelt in Xrd, but like this really is different.
Yeah, but like I remember when I was still trying on Xrd, I had such a difficult time wrapping my head around Elfelt's gun mechanics. And I remember I finally kind of really grasped like how it works and the possibilities for like a brief moment, and it felt like I was staring into the face of God. It felt like I was like just staring into infinity. I felt like I was about to access knowledge that humans were not meant to know. And then I immediately came back to the real world like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Then I never touched Elfelt again.
You stared into the eyes of the truth tortoise?
Yes, I did. And it sounds like Happy Chaos is similar to that.
Kind of, yeah. But yeah, Happy Chaos is super cool.
Also, we got Luke in Street Fighter V.
Luke in Street Fighter V, I'm personally a little bit less excited for, but I think he's also cool. He adds interesting things to Street Fighter V, like mostly charged up specials.
Yeah.
That's kind of like his thing. Where he has a special move called, I think, Flash Knuckle is what it's called. And the light, medium, and heavy versions each do different things. And it's quarter circle back and a punch button. The light one is an uppercut that creates a juggle state that he can combo off of. The medium one is sort of like a dash punch thing that wall bounces if it's charged. And the heavy one is kind of like a Balrog tap, where he like swings back first and then
it's big
lunges, and it's like a big haymaker punch. But when you input those moves, if you hold down the button and then release it after a certain amount of time, it does like a buffed version of the move that adds extra hits and adds extra properties, and obviously does more damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's safe to assume that Luke is kind of like an experiment, like when we're maybe like a teaser of sorts of how the gameplay in Street Fighter 6 is going to be.
Yeah,
maybe, we don't know. I But one interesting thing from a design perspective is, yeah, I know how a lot of the characters in Street Fighter V, their designs incorporate V's of some kind. Like Luke has a big old V tattoo on his chest. Do you think in between Street Fighter V and Street Fighter 6, Luke is going to get like a big Sagat scar up his chest, so it says VI for the number 6?
That could be interesting. I don't know who would give it to him, but that could be a thing.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe the villain of Street Fighter 6.
Maybe. Who knows?
Is the villain of Street Fighter 5 supposed to be Nikali?
Kind of. I don't know. There's like two different stories going on in Street Fighter V. It's like there's the story of Ryu, the Wandering Warrior, and then there's also the story of Shadaloo versus the Air Force.
Yeah.
Which is Street Fighter's kind of always been that way. Where it's like essentially Guile and crew versus Bison, and then Ryu versus Akuma and whoever else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, each edition, so to speak, of Street Fighter had its own villain. Like, Street Fighter 1 was Sagat, Street Fighter 2 was Bison, also Akuma, I guess. Turbo.
Yeah.
3 was Gil.
Right.
4 was Seth.
Yep. 5, I guess, would be Nikali.
What about Alpha?
I don't know anything about the Alpha series.
I don't think the Alpha series had its own villain. I think it was just Bison again. I don't remember. Whatever. Maybe Nikali will give him the scar. Maybe Nikali will do something interesting.
Maybe Nikali will be an interesting character.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I don't like Nikali.
Yeah. I mean, from a gameplay perspective, he's actually a really strong character.
Oh, yeah, no. I just don't like his design or the character itself.
No, absolutely not.
I think Nikali mains should devour our themselves some bitches.
Anyway,
Luke
is a pretty interesting character. If you haven't tried him out yet, you should. He does neat things, like his V skill 1 makes it so that he doesn't have to charge his punches to get the buff version. So you can just like not have to manually time the charge on the flash punch combos.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. His V skill 2 is a V shift, except it works on throws.
Oof.
It's designed specifically to work against throws.
Oof.
And then it has like an attack at the end of it. So he like swings back, will beat a throw, and then if he makes a throw whiff, he does like a special attack animation. And if not, then he just does like a gut punch or whatever. It might be unsafe or something. I don't know.
I completely forgot what I was going to say. Other than the fact that gameplay-wise, it looks really cool. But again, I just wish it was attached on a more interesting character design.
Yeah, his design does not interest me at all. I mean, he did call Vega cringe, though.
Yes, I forgot about that. He does call Vega cringe when he wins against Vega. It's really
Vega.
Funny. I mean, he is like, what, 16 years old?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's got braces. He got braces,
yeah.
Yeah, Luke's out. And that's it for Street Fighter V. And also, speaking of Street Fighter V, I really like how the developers were doing the presentations for season 5. Because I really like it when fighting game developers do that, because it kind of gives like a peek behind the curtain, to see like certain design decisions, why they made the characters a certain way. It's it's also a really great way to put faces to names as far as developers go.
Absolutely.
I really hope they continue doing that for Street Fighter 6 and for other games.
I think they will. The reception to that kind of stuff has generally been really good.
Yeah. It's something Sakurai figured out years ago with Smash. Everyone always looks forward to the character presentations for even for characters that they don't really like. Yeah, they're really good. Good job, Capcom.
Indeed.
Bring us rollback on Street Fighter 6, please.
Bring us rollback on Street Fighter. Actually, good rollback.
On Street Fighter 6. Good rollback on Street Fighter 6.
And stop selling NFTs.
And put Third Strike Online Edition on Steam.
Yes, do that.
Yeah. Speaking of new characters, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is getting its first DLC character, which was actually free.
Free LC.
Free LC, and this feels so cursed. We're getting Garfield.
It wasn't... Garfield was not a pick that I would have thought of or made myself, but I'm not disappointed.
Yeah. He looks like kind of an all-rounder, like his light down air, it looks very similar to Mario or Luigi's down air in Smash. Yeah, kind of an all-rounder character. A lot of his moves revolve around food, and I'm pretty sure the post someone on Twitter made where you cannot select Garfield on in the game on Mondays. I'm pretty sure that's a shit post. I don't think Ludosity and Game Mill
That
actually
would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious,
but I don't think that's actually a thing.
Yeah,
nor do I think it should be a thing.
Yeah.
But it would be funny, and I would laugh.
Yes, I remember seeing it. I'm 90% sure it's a shit post. There's also new balance patch came for the game. They added some new features. Option to go back to carrot select when the match is over. Yeah, so like a lot. Probably the biggest problem I see with I still don't have the game because I'm regrettably poor. If you want to buy it for me, that'd be nice. The biggest complaint I see for the game is that there are a lot of quality of life things that are standard in other fighting games that are just completely missing in Nickelodeon Brawl. Like one of them is alternate costumes. They only just got alternate costumes, and each character only got one. And
yeah, that's a little weird.
And apparently the reason for that is from what I heard going around, apparently it's not a developer thing; it's a publisher thing. Or actually, no, that's not even that. It's a Nickelodeon thing. It's a Viacom thing.
I believe that.
And I think Nickelodeon and Viacom are only allowing alternate costumes of like the costumes need to be like actually from the source material, so they can't just take SpongeBob, paint him blue and call it a day.
Right.
But like SpongeBob with the #1 hat, that's fine. But you still have to, model the hat.
Yeah, or like do his. Why didn't they do his karate outfit like with his headgear and the foam hands?
I don't know. Thaddeus Cruz, who's the lead dev, has been very open and honest on Twitter about how he wants to be able to address all of the very legitimate concerns. He says Thaddeus Cruz says only one costume per character isn't ideal at all, kind of embarrassing in fact. Hopefully, like many other aspects of the game that everyone have been understandably and justifiably vocal about, this can be addressed at some point in the future. So it's pretty safe to assume that the developers' hands are tied here.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't have the funding to have a lot of quality of life features, and the other ones that are missing, it's probably a publisher or a licensing problem.
And that's one of those things that you kind of roll with the punches with when it comes to big IP licensing. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Grand Blue, right? Like, Arxis can only do to Grand Blue what Cygames will let them.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here. Like, and I feel like it would, and I'm not a developer, so again, this is me speculating. I think that working with Nickelodeon Viacom might be even harder because they're not primarily a game developer, publisher company.
Yeah.
Cygames is at least a gaming company, like they make video games. So if you tell them that this is what I need to do to sell a video game, they might be more likely to understand and roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Nickelodeon, they don't have that sort of connection of like knowing how video games are made and what goes into them. Mm-hmm. So I could see there being some issues. Again, speculation.
Yeah. I think the fact that they clearly have not abandoned the game. They're still continuing to patch it. Give it balance patches. They're adding free costumes and a free character. Like they're going to keep working on the game. So I think if you like the game, please continue playing it. Please continue supporting it.
Absolutely.
And so that Game Mill and Ludosity can go to Nickelodeon and be like, hey, people like this game. This is worth it. Let us do more, please.
Let us do more. Yeah.
Yeah. We got that. That's all Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl news. We had a bunch of trailers for DNF Duel.
DNF Duel looks so sick.
I still know nothing about DNF.
I don't know anything about DNF either, except the character designs are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got Ranger. Actually here, all DNF Duels. Inquisitor, Striker, Berserker, Ranger, and Grappler.
Yes.
Which are very on-the-nose names.
Yeah.
I wonder how Grappler is going to play.
So they're named like that because they're based on the classes that are available in the MMO.
Right.
So, as far as I know, which isn't very far, I don't know a lot about this franchise, is that the characters in the game don't actually have their own names.
Mm-hmm.
So they literally are just female Inquisitor, and who is going to be my main, by the way. I'm going to play the Inquisitor. I want to play Inquisitor and Ranger, because Ranger does Dante stuff.
Ranger looks cool. He's got a hat.
He's got a hat and guns.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a thing for gunslingers.
Yeah, game looks good. Check out the trailers. There's really not a whole lot we can talk about because
they haven't really done anything in depth as far as mechanics go.
Yeah, and it's an Arc System Works game, and God forbid Arc System Works put out a substantive character trailer.
Yeah, they have never done that ever.
Yeah, we still don't have a release date. We got 5 characters so far. We still don't know how the systems work. But it says here that there are 8 base classes in Dungeon Fighter Online, with 16 overall, as they are distinguished by male and female. And each of these fighter types also have advancements with the total number over 60. So this roster could theoretically be huge, which is cool. Yeah, DNF Duel, check it out. Looks good. And a few days ago, almost 3 years to the day since the game released, we got the final Smash Ultimate patch. So version 13.0.1 released December 1st. This is it. This is the game. A fair amount of balancing stuff. They buffed a lot of characters that aren't really used that much, like Donkey Kong, Mega Man, Meta Knight, Bowser Jr., Ryu. Inkling, for some reason, you didn't need to buff Inkling. Inkling's fine. I'm biased because I hate fighting Inkling, but Inkling's fine. Piranha Plant, and they nerfed some of the higher tier characters. They nerfed Min Min, they nerfed Steve a bit, they nerfed Pyro and Mithra. They adjusted Sora a bit to match the rest of the cast. I think they could have gone farther. I legitimately cannot remember the last time they even touched Pikachu. Because Pikachu is easily the best character in the game. Yeah, they didn't touch Pikachu, they didn't touch Joker. But overall, this is a very substantial patch. Yeah, Mewtwo got buffed, Link got buffed, Peach and Daisy got buffed. Yeah, pretty solid patch. They also added amiibo support for the Metroid Dread amiibo for Samus and the Emmy.
What if they put the Emmy in the game?
I think... if you go to Amiibo and Games More and tap these amiibo to the NFC area, you receive their spirits. So they added spirits for the Emmy, and I think for Dread Samus. And then the the Dread Samus amiibo can also be used as a regular Samus amiibo for character.
I'm sad that Smash ended before Dread came out, or shortly after Dread came out, because there was some really cool Smash material in that game.
And even before then, in Samus Returns, I'm honestly very surprised that Samus's up tilt or up smash was not changed to the melee counter.
Yeah, seriously.
So we're kind of veering off topic here, but for Smash 6, whenever it comes out, whoever develops it, it's not going to be everyone is here again, because
absolutely not.
It's not going to be possible. But I hope that for the returning characters, they kind of refresh their movesets and give them new kits, because a lot of the characters, especially the original 12, are really overdue for a rework.
Yeah, they're outdated.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I think the only characters that have received significant reworks are Mario, Luigi, and arguably Link.
Well, especially Ultimate Link.
Yeah, especially Ultimate Link. But even Brawl and Smash 4 Link had the Gale Boomerang. So which was very, very different to how it worked in 64 Melee. But Samus needs a rework. Donkey Kong could definitely use a rework. Pikachu should be deleted from existence. But yeah, if Nintendo, if you're watching this, whoever's making Smash 6, whenever it does happen, mix it up a bit. You don't need to keep all the characters exactly the same.
You don't. It's okay to rework characters.
It's okay to rework.
It's actually welcome to rework characters, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, seriously. And this is also, I'm getting off on a tangent here. I'm sorry. This is also something that really frustrates me about Echo Fighters, because Echo Fighters in Ultimate were a brilliant idea, because it allows for more characters with less work from the developers, and also something that people unjustifiably, in my opinion, didn't like about Smash 4 was that Lucina and Dark Pit and also Dr. Mario were like way too similar. You know, God forbid we have more characters, but like rebranding them as Echo Fighters was really smart.
Yeah.
And you could have done so much more with the concept.
I also like the idea of an Echo Fighter because it's kind of like, I liken it to like picking a different V skill V trigger in Street Fighter V.
Exactly.
To where it's like, this matchup isn't great for Marth, but I can switch to Lucina, have less effort to change my mindset to switch characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I essentially play this character with almost the same type of mindset. It's just that the tools work a little bit better in this matchup the way that they're tuned.
Yeah. And like Martha Lucina and Roy and Crom and Ryu and Ken are really great examples of Echo Fighters done well.
Yeah.
But Richter and Dark Samus might as well be skins. And also Daisy used to be a skin. She might as well go back to be a skin because there was exactly one difference between Peach and Daisy, and they patched it out.
Did they really?
It was the turnips, because Daisy's turnips used to work differently than Peach's. I think the damage and the knockback were slightly different, so they had slightly different combo routes, which was really interesting. And they patched it out, so now they're exactly the same.
Isn't Daisy's F smash not random though?
Well, neither is Peach's. So in, I forget how it worked in Brawl, but in Smash 4, Peach's F smash cycled through the three things.
Okay.
But in Ultimate, when you input F smash, if you're holding the stick while you're charging it, you can input you can tilt the stick either up or down to change.
Oh, that's right. You can change the weapon while she's charging it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Daisy like didn't have different weapons on her F smash or something like that. So like her F smash was like always the same. But either way.
Yeah, I also, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if we got more Echo Fighters and did more with the Echo Fighters. I knew I was forgetting one, and it was Dark Pit. Dark Pit's the one that pisses me off the most. Because like Kid Icarus Uprising is so goddamn good, and there are so many different weapons in Kid Icarus Uprising. Like you could have given Dark Pit completely different specials, and you didn't.
You chose not to actively.
Like his arrows work differently, and his side B launches at a different angle, and he has a different final smash. And that's it. Like,
and the final smash never even gets used in competitive play.
Yeah, and also, hot take, Dark Pit's final smash sucks. The Dark Pit staff in Kid Icarus Uprising is not special. It's not unique. It's not overpowered. It's another staff. It can have good properties depending on how you crafted it, but like it's not overpowered enough to be final smash worthy.
Yeah, I've never played a Kid Icarus game, so I wouldn't know, but.
If you have the patience, play one. It's an NES game, so it's gonna be difficult. I don't think anybody remembers the second game. But if you can get your hands on a copy of Kid Icarus Uprising, absolutely play it. It's fantastic. Hilarious. Sakurai also directed that game too.
Interesting.
And he also wrote the story. And
so Dark Pit is Sakurai's edgy OC.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Dark Pit is literally Sakurai's edgelord OC. Give us a new Kid Icarus game, please. I know you said you don't want to bring Uprising to Switch because apparently the touchscreen controls are that integral to the experience. Fine, whatever. Just bring us a new game, please. I love Kid Icarus. All right. And one thing that I actually forgot to talk about until I stumbled across it on Twitter. Panda Global has a Kickstarter for a Panda Global GameCube controller.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So the Kickstarter is live right now. It went up December 1st, so it's been over a week since now. And it is currently over 10 times its funding goal. The goal was 100,000, and right now it is at 1.5 million. With 21 days to go. And honestly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a USB-C controller.
It is a USB-C controller with a GameCube button layout. You can use it on GameCube. It's going to have a USB-C to GameCube adapter. You can do it on Switch, PC, Wii, and Wii U. And like I just this controller looks really goddamn good. It's fully modular. You can change the shell on it, so you can either do a GameCube controller grip or Switch Pro controller grip. It's got back buttons. That's really cool. It's got back buttons that you can remove. You can take out the octo gates on the sticks. Yeah, additional buttons, pen sticks. Oh my god, you could change the length of the triggers, which is so good.
Yeah.
Tactile D-pad, which is great. That's one of the biggest problems with the GameCube controller. The D-pad sucks.
Yep.
And this is so good for so many reasons. Also another feature that I really like is that expansion packs, you can make it wireless. But also one of the expansion packs is just weights. So if you don't like how light it feels, you can add weight to it.
Add weight to it.
Make it heavier.
That's really cool.
And on Kickstarter, like the $90 tier gets you the controller. And on paper, like that seems really high because like a new Pro controller is like 70, a new Xbox controller is like 60.
Yeah.
But if you were getting like a fully customized GameCube controller that's like optimized for melee with like snapback mods, removing the springs from controllers, like it's easy to drop a few hundred to even a few grand on GameCube controllers.
That's a lot.
The fact that you could theoretically spend less than 100 on a fully modular controller that allows you to do all of those mods yourself is really goddamn good.
I mean, coming from an FGC guy, if I saw a fight stick that only cost $90, I probably wouldn't even look at it because I would just assume it was cheap.
Yeah.
And I have like a completely customized fight stick that like I just bought a stock Obsidian and swapped out the buttons and stuff and did it myself, and I ended up spending almost $300 on that.
Yeah.
When it was all said and done.
It also has a switch for the D-pad, so if you have a habit of hitting the D-pad by accident and taunting in the middle of the match, you can turn that off.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can turn off rumble, you can remove the gates, remove the back buttons.
Does it have a headphone jack?
Not sure. A snapback dampening button, that's incredible. L3 and R3 click, that's really good. Motion control, so you can play it on Switch.
That's cool.
It's also really good because a lot of the people who are sponsored by Panda Global were gushing about it on Twitter, and I know they're sponsored, so like their boss, they have to hype up the controller,
right?
But, like even people like Mars, and I don't want to shit on Mars, but like Mars complains a lot. Even he was gushing about this controller, so.
And I'm just saying, we're not sponsored by Panda Global.
We're not sponsored by Panda Global.
If Panda Global would like to sponsor us, hit us up.
Hit us up. On Twitter, at ChargeMotion. At 5Aximus, because Aximus was taken.
At XGhoul with a 0, because Ghoul was taken.
And also, for Melee, the GameCube controller isn't being sold anymore.
Yeah.
So, GameCube controller pieces are getting really hard to come by. And I think for some people, like, especially if you don't have the money to drop on like an optimized controller, like your options might be either scour eBay all the time or go to a thrift store, put your hand in the electronics bargain bin and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're making they're making GameCube controllers in 2021, although they're going to ship next year, is really good. And I just, honestly, for a controller with this many features, and this level of customizability, $90 is honestly a steal.
It is, yeah.
So again, we're not sponsored by Panda Global. We're not being paid to say this. I just want to let you know that this exists. So yeah, Panda Global Kickstarter. It's got 3 weeks to go, so you have plenty of time. Although I think it's not going to ship until late next year, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But if I had the spare income, I would absolutely drop $90 on it. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these stretch goals. Include the weight pack, USB-C to USB, and USB to GameCube controllers. Oh, they're now braided cables, color packs, limited repair warranties, accessory stores. Oh my god, accessory stores for people to buy individual parts. That was the 500,000 stretch goal, and they blazed past it.
Oh yeah, they destroyed that. Partner with community artists for limited edition shell lines after fulfillment.
Then 1 year warranty, second full color pack, a YouTube documentary on the history of the GameCube controller. Sure.
Firmware updates to include full button remapping.
Where do you see that?
It's the 600,000.
Yeah. Firmware to include full button remapping, switching what buttons could do what from the controller end. Which, you know what? That might make me want to play Melee. Because one of my biggest problems with Melee is that
you can't change the controls.
You can't change the controls.
But if you can change which buttons mean what on the controller, you can play Melee with customized controls.
Oh my god! I wish I had $90 to spare. Full so at 1.75 million, which they're not at yet. One backer voted color full face button set, ABX white plug at home. Oh, I think it's just a color. And developer right analytic replacement and circle gates. Oh yeah, and then the $2 million stretch goal is game audio through the controller. So
cool.
Jack, yeah. So this looks so good. All right, we're not. I hope we don't come across as shills again. We are not being paid to share this.
Nope, we're just excited gamers.
We're just excited gamers. And that was a beefy episode.
Yeah, it was.
A big old boy.
Lots of news and stuff going on.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all I had. The Steam Winter Sale is not going on yet, but when it does, you're probably going to be able to get a lot of fighting games for cheap.
Yeah. Fighting games tend to go on sale a lot.
Most of them.
Especially Skullgirls, which you should play.
Yeah. Especially now that Black Dahlia is coming. That's all I had. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Hit the lab. The impulse to monetize every aspect of the human experience is something that should be resisted, not celebrated. Good fight, good night.